In the previous video, we set up the JavaScript webhook and we pulled through the invoice record. Before I add another module, which will be looking up the company information, I just want to run through the invoice and explain what we're trying to do. On the invoice, I mentioned that there are curly brackets, which are the data fields that we're trying to dynamically populate from information from Knack. Most of the information that we will pull through will come through from the invoice table, but the top two fields here, company name and address, will need to come through from the company table. And likewise, the repeating line items will come through from the line items table. Looking at the data table for the invoice, you can see that we don't actually just have the company name on its own. It only exists actually in the company table. So here we have the company name, Phoenix Flights Limited, along with their address, phone and website. The display field I've set on the company table is the company name and ID. And that's this field here, which is a concatenation of the company ID number and the company name. And because this is the display field, this is how it shows on any connected table. So in the invoice table, this is the connected record. So as we're already pulling through the invoice details on our make scenario, I already have this piece of information. So I can now go and look for this, knowing that it's totally unique, and find this record in the company table here, and then pull back other related information. So what I need to do now is add another Knack module, and this time we will use a search for records. Make already fills in the connection for me based on the previous module, so my invoice application connection is correct. So all I need to do is select the object that I want to go and look in, which in this case is the company table. And what I'm going to be looking for is the company name and ID, which is Phoenix Flights Limited brackets 2. So I just need to say it is. And now I can pick the data field from the first module, and when I hover over these references here, you can see the first module pulse. So these are all coming from the invoice record, as it shows at the top here, invoice record, and then in a little grey box it says number 2, which is coming from here, which is number 2. So as I scroll down, I can see I've got company name and ID, and I can open this up, and it's the identifier that I want, Phoenix Flights Limited brackets 2. And I'm going to come down and just limit this to only find one. There will only ever be one match, even if there is another Phoenix Flights Limited. The number, because it's a ultimate increment, would always be different. Save my module, and I'm just going to rename. I'm going to save my scenario and run once, and then do a test. Once again, I'll split my screen so you can see the live app and the scenario working side by side. So I'm going to create my invoice, trigger my JavaScript webhook, and you can see on the right hand side that all three modules ran. I would receive my invoice as before, so this is my record ID. It then finds the full record associated with that record ID, and then on this module I pull back the information related to the company. So this is coming from my company table, company name, address, and once again make gives me some granular information, the phone number and the website. In the next video, I'll be adding another search component to our make scenario so I can download the invoice document from our templates table.